Top 10 Thursdays, and today we are ranking my top 10 best tag teams or favourite tag teams. It's my opinion. So, number 10. I know I'm going to forget a load, so I'll probably remember who was better than these, but my number 10 is The Bar. Sheamus, who was one of my favourites, or was my favourite. I don't know if he was at that time. I don't think he was. And Cesaro. So that's a good little team. I like the way they started this tag team because they were both fighting against each other. I think they had like nearly 8 matches against each other, and they're getting. I think Sheamus was getting more wins than Cesaro. I'm not sure, but they're going to have another one. And they ended up just being a tag team. Like they ended up respecting each other, and I like that. And yeah, I like it when a tag team forms well. Like that's going to be a big thing in my list if they formed for a good reason rather than what they always seem to do now is just put teams together from nowhere. That's all they do now. So yeah, The Bar. The only bad thing about these, they stayed together for quite a while ish until Sheamus got injured. So they never really broke up. They just took the tag team championships off Dean and Seth, I believe, and I preferred them. What a little fun tag team these were. So it started off as Edge and Jericho. Obviously, Edge being my favourite, but I didn't last because Edge got injured, and then Jericho started going off on Edge for being injury prone. So he had to find someone else to be his tag team partner. I think that ended up being Jericho and Edge at WrestleMania, but Jericho found a new tag team partner in The Big Show. Obviously, he's not injury prone. Um, yeah, and they were really fun together. I love the name Jerry Show. They had a great entrance. The only reason these are only ninth is because I actually didn't watch them that much. I've only I don't think I was watching WWE at that time. It's only when I've gone back to see how they were. Like my brother said, they were a good tag team. I've gone back and I've watched it. And I've been like, wow, yeah, they're good. I wish I watched them properly because they could have been higher. Number 8. That's so disappointing. They're only number 8. They should be number 1. These should be the best tag team on here. The Brothers of Destruction. Like, oh my god, I expected such big things from these. They're okay, but I think every time they were on my screen, I was like, oh my god, it's these two. Like Undertaker and Kane is Brothers of Destruction, by the way. Uh, like, oh my god, they should dominate everyone. So I always had that in my mind, and I always got excited that they're on, and that's probably the only reason they get this. I also like their entrance. There, so another like I say, I like a story for them to be together. I also like brothers being together. They're gonna have better chemistry if they're brothers, right? Like yeah, you got cousins and that, but brothers are gonna be chemistry, same mind, know what they're gonna do. So yeah, I wish they'd made more. When they went against Stone Cold and Triple H for all the belts, the tag belts and the World Championship and WWE Championship. I think they were. Well, it might have been the Intercontinental. Triple H had one of those. Um, I was like, well, the Brothers of Destruction are going to win this, and I'm so excited because they're an actual tag team. Stone Cold and Triple H weren't really an actual tag team, so surely the actual tag team are going to win. But no, they lost. And their retirement thing in DX, I never liked DX, as you'll find out later in this list. Never liked DX, so when DX, Shawn Michaels and Triple H faced Kane and Undertaker, like all their retirement, DX won. I was so disappointed. So this one, and I can have this one. So I'm not doing groups, by the way, because that's unfair. But I can have this one because they did a tag team, just the two of them. But it's two members of the Shield, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. They work so well together. You watch them and they just know who's gone where, what they need to do, and they know how to win. And yeah, I loved watching them too. They're just so fun to watch. The only downside, if that was a downside, I don't know. It could be a good thing. They never felt stable. You never thought they were going to stay together because they would argue, and you know, I don't think Dean could properly forgive Seth for breaking up the Shield. But yeah, they were tag team champions. I just loved watching them together. Go on, Shield. And another point on that, you always felt like as long as them two were tag team champions, or at least they were getting along as a tag team, there's always that chance for a reunion. So you always wanted them to stay together and do well for a Shield reunion. So this tag team is probably the only tag team I like in the women's division. Well, used to like because they're not in it anymore, but my God, I found them so funny. But I'm trying to think, and I can't think of anything funny they actually did. So they just make me laugh in the moment, and I really miss them. The Iconics, please bring them back. They were just naturally funny. See, I think it's more Billy Kay that was funny because when the other one left, so I can't remember her name. I think that's when I started noticing she was really funny. Now they're both gone. I've noticed I've really missed them. So they've really got in my memory that I liked them. And I really want them to come back and Chelsea Green to kind of lead them. That'd be awesome. So my fifth one is Rated RKO. Edge and Randy Orton. So obviously Edge being my favourite. Like, you know I'm biased by now. I don't mean to be. I really try not to be. Yeah, Rated RKO. They formed specifically just to take on DX and get rid of them, and they beat him a lot. I was like, yes. Like, I don't like DX either. I would have joined them happily. Um, yeah, and they beat him quite a few times. Yeah, I love the name Rated RKO because uh, Edge is rated R superstar, and obviously Randy Orton's got the RKO. They weren't together super long, as far as I remember, and then when Edge returned, not a few years ago, Randy Orton came out and said, "Shall we reform rated RKO?" and then just gave him an RKO. I was disappointed. I'd like to have seen them again. So yeah, they could be funny, serious, silly. Like they had everything. Now, there's not many reasons these are my number four, but Legion of Doom, God, you know the ones with the red like body thing on, like armor, they had the big black spikes pointing out. That's such a cool look when I was a kid. Uh, they're the only real threat of a tag team I remember as a kid, apart from maybe Bushwhackers, like the. I had the figures for Legion of Doom, might have been my brother's, but yeah, so just because they're such a memorable tag team as my childhood. That's basically and they're really good at promos. Really good at promos. Oh, and their Doomsday device, is that what you call it? Their finisher, where one is on Animal's shoulders and then Hawk jumps off and clothesline him off. That was, yeah, that seemed devastating as a kid. They'll do that now, and that would be like the weakest move ever. Like no one's ever going to pin from that. So these are probably the best tag team I can think of. So if I ever had to have a probably the best of all time tag team, these would probably be number one. I just always considered these top for some reason. Maybe they're not, but they've been in some legendary matches. They've always held titles as far as I can remember. Can't remember a great deal about them. I like their finisher, the 3D. Yeah, so Dudley Boys. It's the Dudley Boys. I don't really know what else to say. I like some of their moves. I think just because they felt like one of the best, they're near the top of my list. And they're in some big matches against people I really liked. So that's them. So number two is the Hardy Boys. Pretty much what I said about the Dudleys. These didn't feel as, what do you call the word, dominating? No. They didn't feel like the best, but they could always take it to the Dudleys. And they were high flyers rather than what the Dudleys were. But these were so much more fun to watch, in my opinion. They held titles all the time as well, and uh, they had a better entrance theme. But the big thing is, they were brothers. So, yeah, I always felt like they just had better chemistry. And my number one favourite tag team of all time, the Usos. There's literally only a few reasons, but they're big reasons. So number one is obviously they're brothers. Like, that's got to be one of the big things for me. Uh, and number two is they were unified champions. That's a big thing to me. When for some reason it feels like such a big thing if you unify the championships together. And they might have already been unified before they got them, but they held them for ages. They felt unbeatable, and they were in that period of the Bloodline, which is my favourite period ever. I love the Bloodline period. When they're all holding the belts and felt unstoppable. That's my kind of thing. That's definitely not a lot of other people's things. But yeah, and I was watching them thinking, no one can beat these, and that's what I want. See, I never feel like there's ever been a tag team where they felt unbeatable, but these had that, especially holding them championships for so long, being in the Bloodline. Who's going to beat them with Roman Reigns leading them? And they also took it to the worst ever New Day. I don't like the New Day. So yeah, that is the Usos brothers, the championships for a long time, united, and I just I can't remember ever wanting to see them lose, especially when they had them championships. They lost them in such a crappy way, but yeah, my number one, the Usos. Thank you so much for watching my top 10 favourite tag teams of all time. Sorry it's such a short video, but what more can you say about the tag teams? See you next Thursday, everyone. Subscribe, like, and all that lovely, lovely, juicy stuff, please, because that would mean the world. Thank you.